Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. You go to work, you come home, and you go directly to sleep, and this is what you wake up to, right? That Triple H video that I was talking about in the community post, I'm gonna put that off for tomorrow because there's just so much fucking news to discuss right now at the moment. Just off rip, I gotta put out probably 3 videos today. I got 2 standalone videos that I have to make, this one being one, and I have another one coming out within the next hour or so, directly after I'm done uploading this. And then the final news story that I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of, it just broke maybe like 2 hours ago. I'm going to put that in the intro of the AEW Dynamite review because there's only so much I can get out of that topic. And then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming as far as what I really want to discuss tomorrow. But that's for tomorrow. This is for today. MVP. Oh boy. MVP is in hot water. How to prioritize what I figured you guys wanted to talk about. So let's take it directly from the top. Links are in the description box above, or I guess below. AEW roster member has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It's been reported that MVP has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way backstage in AEW. According to FIFO, this sentiment has been expressed by a number of talents on the roster. The Hurt Syndicate member has made it known that he does not like Speedball Mike Bailey and did not want Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin losing to Bailey and Kevin Knight. It's not clear why MVP dislikes Bailey or if the Hurt Syndicate was ever actually planned to lose to Jet Speed. The report also states that MVP turned down pitches for the Hurt Syndicate to lose to FTR at All In and Forbidden Door. MVP reportedly suggested that they would rather lose to the Gates of Agony, the Outrunners, or Private Party, 3 teams they have already defeated this year. There is said to be frustration within the AEW locker room that the faction beats everyone up, high fives the fans, and does cool moves when they are supposed to be heels. However, numerous people also expressed that the backstage environment in the company is the best it's been in years. I know, right? Sounds like a contradiction. It was also noted that the storyline with with MJF was originally planned to run longer, though there is no reported heat between MJF and the group. The Hurt Syndicate's last match was at All In when they defeated Jet Speed and the Patriarchy in a triple threat match. Now, it gets a little bit deeper, and mind you, it's probably just a coincidence that I'm reading this from Web is Jericho, but apparently MVP had a couple of comments on his own, so we'll read that also. MVP has a reputation for being outspoken and calling it as he sees it, which has seen him rub plenty of people the wrong way over the years. And now, having burnt his bridge with WWE thanks to his negative comments about Triple H, claims are spreading online that he has locker room heat with AEW. With FIFO backing this up by reporting that MVP dislikes Speedball Mike Bailey and didn't want the Hurt Syndicate losing to Jet Speed. Additionally, it's noted that in the locker room, some talents are frustrated that the group is meant to be a heel faction, but, and I quote, do cool moves, beat everyone up, and give fans high fives on the way out. Still, without citing names, it is impossible to verify these claims, and MVP is seemingly playing this down himself, taking the X shortly after the story broke to dismissively ask, "Heard any good rumors lately?" Which is what he did. And then it starts to go on a fucking diatribe about shit that's not relevant to what I want to discuss at the moment, so fuck the rest of this filler. But yeah, MVP ended up tweeting that out also. He said, "Heard any good rumors lately?" And then this comes from a Twitter account, so, take it with a grain of salt. It's from this dude named Unpaid Critic, who I guess maybe he took an excerpt out of one of MVP's podcast clips, because I don't think MVP said this recently. Maybe he did. I don't know. That's why I said be careful what you're listening to from the Twitter users, because I don't know whether or not they're taking this out of context. I don't know the context as far as what they're referencing. But this tweet is somewhat blowing up directly after this because it says, and I quote from MVP, "Let's just say this. Bobby Lashley is a former world champion, and after we came here, Bobby was reduced to a tag team guy. Bobby is literally the only bankable guy in AEW. I have my opinions, and at some point on my podcast, I'll talk about it. Now again, I don't know where he pulled that excerpt from for me to apply the correct context in order to know what he's alluding to. But it's a quote nonetheless that was blowing up directly after this. And there's so many things to talk about in regards to this whole fucking news thing. So, first and foremost, there's going to be a positive and there's going to be a negative. A positive in regards to why I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with the Hurt Business as far as what they're saying, or the Hurt Syndicate, I guess, as far as their way of doing business right now. Absolutely, wholeheartedly agree. That's what my heart says, and I'm gonna state that in a minute. And then I'm gonna say also the complete obvious that my brain is also saying. It's like, I agree with you guys, but there's an elephant in the room that we kind of have to discuss at the moment, okay? So, the positive first. He's absolutely right. Why in the fuck would he job to someone like Speedball Mike Bailey and Jet Speed, the Black Knights? Like, why? Why would he job to the Black Knight and fucking Gailey? For what? For what? For what? For what? What have they done? Who the fuck are they? Look at them. Why? Why would he fucking do any business with them whatsoever? Now, the FTR thing may be a little bit different, but I got a feeling it has more to do with the fact that maybe because they have to work a program together, both. Like, they haven't worked the program together. That's most likely the reason why, as to why he doesn't want to, work with those teams in order to put them over in the correct way. Now, I know most people are going to probably be dismissive over this. I know most people are probably going to look at this and be like, why is MVP playing politics when he legitimately just left an environment full of politics? By the way, that's not the negative that I'm talking about at the moment. But let me ask you guys a question. When you are essentially, I guess, for what it sounds like, a manager, like an MVP currently at the moment, I mean, what would you do? Would you allow your clients to look bad in any certain manner? Huh? Would you allow your clients to look terrible in any certain manner? Losing against a bunch of fucking midgets. Now, I'm not saying Jet Speed are a bunch of midgets necessarily, because Knight is a pretty big dude, but Bailey? And in comparison to what? The Gates of Agony, who are towering over Mike Bailey and fucking the Black Knight. The Outrunners, they're pretty big dudes also. And I'm pretty sure MVP looks at them and he says there's money to be made because they're probably going to sell merchandise. They probably have fucking sold a shit ton of merchandise at this point, the Outrunners, and they're over with that audience. And Private Party, who are former tag team champions and probably friends with MVP. I'm not stupid also. So I understand why he would want to put those teams over versus putting over a random team like fucking Jet Speed. And in regards to FTR, maybe he would want to put over FTR someday, but they have to work a program together. Why would he just drop the belts to them just regularly like that? I completely agree. Now, it is weird. It is weird for me to at least look at the situation. Like I said, that's my heart speaking. And, we got to address the elephant in the room. I don't know if this is true, but the actual personal vendetta against specifically Mike Bailey, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know where that's stemming from. I kind of have a feeling. I can't say whether or not it's true. I can't. I got one suggestion. Now, mind you, this is only coming from my mind. Only from my mind. I'm going to be honest with you. I think MVP I think MVP kind of thinks Mike Bailey is a little fruitcake. I think with the they them stuff and the non-binary stuff, MVP You know, especially I'm not sure if he. I think he says he's a former Muslim now, right? I'm not sure if he's still Muslim or if he's like or if he's a former Muslim. But I gotta believe, you know, regardless, that's the background that MVP comes from, and but he probably thinks Mike Bailey's a bit of a weirdo, if you will, and he don't want to do business with weirdos like that. Now, I can't suggest otherwise. I'm just looking at the character of MVP, and I know I got people in my family no different than an MVP as far as that mindset is concerned. Now, mind you, obviously, this is not confirmed at all. He's gonna explain himself. This is just a theory that I'm thinking up right now. I think MVP just thinks homie's a weirdo. He don't want to be anywhere near doing business with weirdos. You know, he probably thinks buddy with, you know, the he, they, them, sure, whatever fucking things he has in his pronouns, and his wife is a bit of a weirdo also, and how he carries himself and shit like that. I just think MVP looks at the dude and just thinks to himself like, yeah, bro, we ain't gonna ever do business together with you acting this clownish and acting this way. You a grown ass man, you know, like, bro, you like not too far from 40, talking about you a Zer. Like, get your clown ass out of here, bro. Go kick rocks. I truly think it doesn't go any further, because I mean, from a personality standpoint, if this happens to be true, I mean, on a wrestling level, I don't give a fuck about Speedball Mike Bailey, but on a personal level, Buddy looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. I don't mean that in the sense that he can't rock, like he can't fight. I mean that in like how he appears to be a nice guy. Now, granted, it's not lost on me that he might be some of those, like, you know, political lunatics where you don't respect his pronouns, he gets mad at you. That could be something else too. I wouldn't doubt that if that's MVP's thing also. You know, the whole like respect my pronouns shit. I wouldn't doubt if that's why MVP doesn't want to be fucked with him too. Maybe there was a conversation and MVP didn't call him his correct pronouns or whatever the case may be, or he like, maybe MVP thought the pronoun shit was ultra weird and questioned him on it, and, you know, maybe got disrespect in return type shit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's probably the case also when it comes to Speed Mike Bailey. There's a lot of things to choose with Speedball Mike Bailey, but I'd probably suggest that, like, it has nothing to do necessarily with whether or not he was a nice guy or a mean guy, outside of maybe disrespect from MVP for not respecting the guy's personal wishes or whatever, and questioning him on it and getting disrespect in return type shit. That's what I presume it to be also. Just to throw it out there, just to guess. But now, MVP, outside of that, he doesn't have to do business with you guys in the way that you guys feel he needs to do business with. That's between MVP and Tony Khan. If Tony Khan feels it's okay to want MVP to do business this way, then sure, why not? Like MVP said, it's already bad enough that Bobby Lashley is leaving a high-profile company like WWE to come to AEW to be a tag team wrestler. He's a former world champion. Arguably, from a name standpoint, he's probably top 5 in that company right now at the moment. Damn sure top 10 name value-wise. He's coming directly to your company. He's going directly into a tag team, and you better make this shit right. You damn right. I completely understand, and I completely agree with MVP. And furthermore, kind of hypocritical for the fans, at least from the AEW fanboys, to sit here and even some of the people within the AEW locker room. I mean, what? It was a nice environment when you had the fucking dick riders going around burying everybody? Huh? Really? Oh, it's okay for the Young Bucks to hot five and play ha-ha and dick swords all day, but they're heels? But it's a nice environment? Oh, but when the Hurt Syndicate do it, it's automatically a bad. And look, I'm not on that fucking race shit. Don't you at the wrong channel if you think I'm gonna blame this all on race. No, I ain't that kind of content creator. You go find somebody else. Trust me. There are plenty of people in the space that's gonna blame race for fucking everything. I ain't the guy. What I am gonna say though is, no, this has nothing to do with any of that. what this does have to do with is the fact that you guys are hypocrites. That's what it is. It's just based off of hypocrisy and double standards. That's all it's based off of. It. Look, like I said, we're all hypocrites at the end of the day, whether or not we want to admit it. We all have our own double standards. We all have our own bias. That's fine. It's okay even. But don't sit here and suggest that, like, all of a sudden this is the worst thing in the world. This is the worst thing in the world. The earth shouldn't get. They don't want to be huge. The Hurt Syndicate, they beat everybody up and then they act cool. Dude, that's like your whole fucking company. Like, I've been bitching about this for like how many years now? And recently, like I said, with the Dick Riders and with the Young Bucks in particular, they're literally two of those specific things that I've been bitching about. Oh, but they know how to do indie, and therefore they're okay. That's where the actual prejudice comes into play. They know how to do indie, and these guys don't want to do indie. That's where it comes down to. All this shit has a perfectly good explanation. You know what I mean? Private Party, most likely they're friends with, and their former tag team champions, Outrunners. They sell a shit ton of merchandise. Mind you, they're white also, so please mix me with the race stuff. The Gates of Agony, also not black, and they're big, tough guys, so they look plausible enough to beat the Hurt Syndicate. That's why. FTR, they don't have a story yet. They're busy with Edge and Christian. Well, they're eventually it's going to be Christian. When they wrap all that stuff up and when they come back to the Hurt Syndicate, once they actually have a program, I'm pretty sure MVP will be cool with dropping the belts to them. They don't have a fucking storyline yet. And as far as Jesby goes, maybe to fucking the Dark Knight if he had a credible partner, but certainly not to Mike Bailey when MVP already has problems with him and he's a short stack and hasn't proven to be a proven commodity yet outside of just I know how to flip. Yeah, I completely understand. And with the backstage frustrations from the guys, miss me with that. Miss me. Take the Young Bucks and the Dick Riders to task, and then maybe I'll humor you in conversation in regards to how you feel about MVP's terrible comments. But like I said, regardless, these are all rumors in the end of the day. MVP's probably going to talk about it on this podcast, as previously stated. There's a lot of people who are going to answer for the stuff they talk about on their future podcasts. I mean, I expect Rikishi to talk sooner rather than later. MVP is going to talk about on his podcast. And speaking of podcasts, give me about an hour because we have another video we have to talk about. So until then, a deuces and a pea ice.